Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And we are back, Day 3, Part C, studying abroad with a bunch of different students. We had Christina and Tiffany in Day 1, figuring out the dorm, figuring out where to do their laundry, to wash their clothes. And then yesterday, we had Lewis and his buddy,
Ethan.
Ethan, thank you very much. And they were talking about their class schedule, which was actually quite similar, but Lewis had to take an extra English class.
Yes. And today we have Thomas and Rebecca.
Okay, what are they doing?
And now we are actually talking about something that happens quite often when you study abroad. And of course, the beginning of the study abroad is super exciting and fun.
And busy.
But then there are the times where you start to feel homesick.
Oh, okay. So yes, this is more of the emotional side of going away to school, right? You've been away to school. You stayed in a dorm at university. I went away when I was a young kid. Did you feel homesick? Because you're in 19, 20, 21, you're in your 20s, yeah.
See, I didn't really feel homesick, mostly because I was only about a 5-hour drive.
True.
So anytime that I was like, I want to go home for a little bit, then I would drive home on the weekend and then drive back, like leave Friday and then come back on Sunday.
Right.
So.
But of course, if you were from Taiwan and you're studying in America, you can't just fly home on the weekend unless you're really rich. So yes, being homesick is just kind of missing home. I was very homesick. I was 9 years old when I was away. I tried to call home. I could only call home once every 2 weeks or something like that. So I got over it. You just sort of learn that, well, no one's gonna come and, rescue me. So I just have to make friends. And that's part of it. You just have to kind of move on with your life and find other ways, because you can't be at home and studying away at school, getting a good education all at the same time. So it's kind of part of it. Let's find out all about Thomas and Rebecca and how they deal with some of the homesickness, some of the loneliness they feel studying away from home. Thomas and Rebecca are studying in the student center.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep reading the same sentence over and over.
You can't focus. Are you getting enough sleep every night?
No. And I have a headache that won't go away.
All right, so yes, we're talking about feeling homesick. This is something that will happen when you're away from home, not just your home, but of course your family, your friends, the life you used to have. So it's a little bit of feeling lonely. It's a little bit of feeling far away, right? Because as you said, if you're living just on the other side of the city, it's not really the same if you're living in another country or thousands of miles away. So it's a little bit of all of these different things, and it will be over a long period of time. If you're just out all day and you're tired and I just want to go home, I've had such a busy day, you're not really homesick, right? So it's more of a wanting to be back in that safe, loving place with all those wonderful people that you miss because now you're in another place in the world.
Yes, and so you can even see inside of the word you have homesick. This is not like you're sick of your home. You are sick for your home.
Yes,
so you're feeling
lonely.
Just, kind of in this way.
Home,
Yes, and so we have two students. We have Thomas and Rebecca, and Thomas and Rebecca are studying in the student center. So they've gone to the student center. They are working on their homework. And they might be starting to feel a little emotional at this time.
Okay, the student center wouldn't necessarily be the library, which of course is another place to study. It's a bit more of a social place. They might have a coffee shop on the weekends. They might have movies or concerts or parties in the student center. And there would be probably a lot of stuff there to help students, not just with their classes, but just to be happy people and, take care of small problems. So it's just a good place to go to hang out when you're not in the library, in class, or back in your dorm. So Thomas begins, he says, I don't know what's wrong with me. Interesting. So that can be when you're having a problem, but you don't have an easy answer or an easy explanation. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been having the same headache. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. I ate some fish for lunch and I feel really sick. I have questions because I don't feel good. In other words, I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep reading the same sentence over and over. Okay, yeah. Sometimes when you're reading and you find it hard to concentrate for all sorts of reasons, you could be reading the same sentence over and over. I've also read people, and I've done this, read the same paragraph over and over. So you're reading something, you're trying to enjoy it, you're trying to understand it, but your brain is just over here. Your brain is over there. Your brain is back here. Your brain is focused on something totally different. So you just do this again and again. And of course, as many of you know, a sentence is one of the basic places that we use English, the basic forms of English. You will have a subject, you will have a verb, you will have an object. It could be a really short sentence like the cat ran over there, or it could be a really long sentence with commas and punctuation and whatnot, but it's basically just one little bit of English. And of course, writing is made up of many, many, many sentences.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看看单字的部分。Homesick, homesick 形容词，想家的。Ruby felt homesick after being away for a month. Ruby 在离家1个月后想家了。下一个单字 sentence, sentence 名词，句子。Can you read this sentence aloud? 你能大声读这句话吗？文法的部分，老师们提到了。Over and over 反复的，这是一个副词片语。Over 的意思是一再的。我们来看看这个例句。Sandra watched the movie over and over. Sandra 反复的观看这部电影。我们接着回到课文当中。
All right, so he is not able to concentrate on the homework or what he's trying to read.
Yes, and so then Rebecca says, you can't focus. Are you getting enough sleep every night? Which is a good thing to ask because if you are not getting enough sleep, it is very hard to focus. So you could be that he's staying up very late and then he's not able to pay attention and read what he's reading. So she's asking a obvious question. Are you sleeping enough? Are you getting enough sleep?
Because as you said, that can make it hard to focus or, as I said earlier, concentrate. When you're using your mind powers and you're really doing one thing, you are focusing or concentrating. He can't. So what's going on? And he says, no, and I have a headache that won't go away.
老师们刚刚也提到了这个短语 go away 消失。我们来看看这个例句 The clouds finally went away. 云终于消散了。那我们接着回到课文当中。
Oh gosh, that's also a lot of trouble. So not sleeping well and, his head hurts. He can kind of feel the pain pounding in his head and it won't go away. That gives me the idea he's had this headache for a few hours or maybe even a few days. That is not good.
Do you also feel lonely and like you don't belong?
Yes. How did you know?
I'm from Berlin, and I went through the same thing. You're homesick.
What can I do about it?
First, stay in touch with your family. Then, find and spend time with other students like you.
All right, we are back and we're talking about Thomas, who is a student at a school. I think they're all foreign students, right? So students who've traveled from another part of the world to study. And he's finding, Thomas, that he can't concentrate. He's got a bit of a headache. He just doesn't feel good right now. So his friend Rebecca is helping him try to understand what's going on.
Yes, and so she already asked if he was getting enough sleep, which he says he's not really getting enough sleep and he has a headache. So now Rebecca is going to check another thing and she says, do you also feel lonely and like you don't belong? And so these kinds of questions, they might not be questions that you necessarily ask somebody who maybe is from that town or from that country, but they could be very obvious questions that you might need to ask to make sure that people who are from other countries are like, are you feeling okay with where you are? Are you feeling accepted? Because it's total culture shock to go live in another country. And so she double checks, are you feeling lonely? And this word lonely, this adjective means if you feel like you are alone, you don't have anybody to talk to, you might feel like you don't have any friends, so you feel you're spending a lot of time by yourself and that is making you feel sad, then you are feeling lonely. Of course, some people might enjoy having some time by themselves. That's okay. Then that would not be being lonely because you're happy about it. But if you're feeling like, I don't know who to talk to, I feel sad that I don't have anybody around, then that would be feeling lonely.
And of course, if you're off on your own somewhere, it would be quite natural to feel lonely because there's no one to talk to. But you could also feel lonely in a big group of people, maybe even in your own family or something. That's more about you don't feel like you belong. And when we say belong here, we're not talking about dongshi that is mine. This belongs to me. You can't take it. No, that's another meaning of belong. But no, here we're talking about you feel like you fit in. You feel like you're accepted. You feel like the people around you are kind of like you and they understand you and you have a connection to them. Of course, with most of your friends, you should hopefully feel comfortable in a group with them because you belong. You've known them for a long time. You enjoy the same things. You have the same hobbies or activities. I mean, if you love to play chess and you're with a group of baseball players who've never played chess and only talk about baseball, you wouldn't really feel like you belong because while they're talking about Shohei Ohtani, you're thinking about chess, which is not really the same thing. And sometimes even with our family, if your family are all a family of doctors and lawyers and you really want to be an artist in your life, you might feel like you don't belong, you don't fit in, they're so different from you that it's hard for you to feel close or have a connection to them. And that's why making friends and finding people who enjoy the things you enjoy, that's a good way to find people who you feel you belong with. You kind of feel a connection to them.
刚刚课文有提到这两个单字，第一个 lonely 形容词，寂寞的、孤单的。Kelly felt lonely after moving to a new city. 搬到新城市后 ，Kelly 感到寂寞。下一个单字 belong 动词，有归属感。I feel like I belong in this group. 我觉得自己在这个团体中找到了归属感。那我们接着回到课文当中。
All right, so let's get back. So I think Rebecca has done a very good job. I wonder if she's studying psychology.
Oh, maybe.
Because she seems to be quite good at asking important questions that get people to think about their problems and maybe even solve them. Because yes, she has guessed correctly. He does feel lonely. He isn't sleeping well. All of those things she guessed are kind of true. He says, yes, I do feel like I don't belong. I do feel lonely. How did you know? With your amazing powers.
Yes, she's a magician.
She is, or she can read his mind.
Yes, no, actually, Rebecca just says, I'm from Berlin. So by saying this...
She's German. They have superpowers.
No. By reading this sentence, we see that must mean that she is also not from the country that they are studying in.
Oh.
So she says, I'm from Berlin, and I went through the same thing.
Oh.
You're homesick. So no mind reading, no magic going on here.
It's
just a shared experience.
Okay,
She also is a foreign exchange student. She has gone through this same idea of feeling homesick and you miss your home and you feel like you're not quite connecting with everybody because you don't share the same culture or background or history. So she knows what's going on.
Exactly. She has experienced the same thing. She has gone through this as well. So that's good that Thomas has her as a friend and he can use her experience and wisdom, which he tries to do right away by asking this question, what can I do about it? You've gone through this. You seem happy and comfortable like you belong now. What can I do to get to where you are and become less lonely or less homesick? What can I do about it?
Well, she says, first, stay in touch with your family.
But I miss them so. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, you know, call them, FaceTime them, Skype them, whatever. True. Talk to them, see them. Connect a little bit so you can kind of remember and feel like you still have a connection over there and you're not totally cut off. And then she also says, then find and spend time with other students like you.
Good tip.
So this is a really good idea because, again, you can already see from just Rebecca and Thomas, they have a shared experience, so they're able to chat about it. And if he finds other students like him, then they will also be able to talk about common things, and that usually makes you feel like you belong because you're discussing things that you both know. And again, we had this phrase, stay in touch, and that just means to talk to or be in contact with and not totally cut somebody off. So if you're staying in touch with your family or your friends, then you might be calling them or texting them and checking in and saying, hey, what you doing? How it's been a while. Nice to see you. This kind of idea of just getting in touch with or getting in contact with your whole kind of social circle to kind of keep those connections.
Yeah, not all the time. You don't have to call home every day, but don't sort of say, well, they're far away, or, you know, sometimes there's a time difference. You know, it's nighttime where you are and morning where they are. Or sometimes I think, especially with young people in university, you might want to go away and be independent and I can take care of them. I don't need you anymore, mom and dad, or you don't want them to worry about you as well, right? But that's okay. I think it would be better to call them, have a little cry, have a little, I miss you so much, I want to come home and eat grandma's cooking, and then get over it, and they will feel like you're getting better, you're improving day after day. You don't have to be perfect and everything doesn't have to be wonderful in your life. Your family can help you, especially when you're doing something so big like going away to another country to study.
老师们刚刚提到了这个短语 stay in touch 保持联络，后面可以用 with 来接对象。类似的用法是 keep in touch 保持联络，get in touch 取得联系。我们来看看这两个例句。第一个 We should stay in touch after the project ends. 专案结束后，我们应该保持联络。下一个例句 I will get in touch with you tomorrow. 我明天会与你联络。以上是今天的讲解，同学们要记得复习哦。
So good luck with that. If you're planning to do that sometime soon, we wish you all the best success. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye. Thomas and Rebecca are studying in the Student Center.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep reading the same sentence over and over.
You can't focus. Are you getting enough sleep every night?
No. And I have a headache that won't go away.
Do you also feel lonely and like you don't belong?
Yes. How did you know?
I'm from Berlin, and I went through the same thing. You're homesick.
What can I do about it?
First, stay in touch with your family. Then, find and spend time with other students like you.
们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 homesick 形容词想家的 sentence 名词句子 lonely 形容词寂寞的孤单的 belong 动词有归属感。接着我们来看文法的部分 over and over 反复的 saying the word over and over helps you remember it 反复诵读有助于你记忆单字 go away 消失 It took an hour for the bad smell to go away 那股臭味过了1小时才散去 Stay in touch 保持联络 It isn't necessary to stay in touch with everyone 或者是 It isn't necessary to keep in touch with everyone 没必要和每个人都保持联系 I tried several times to get in touch with Eve 我好几次试着联系 Eve 好啦，以上是今天的重点单字跟文法，那我们下次再见喽，拜拜。
A pier is a platform built on the shore that extends over the surface of the water. And at Sun Moon Lake, one of the popular spots to visit is 水社 Pier. There's enough to see and do at this location, so let's find out more about it. 水社 Pier is on the north side of Sun Moon Lake. It's the first place most people go to when they visit Sun Moon Lake. It's also the most popular spot to start a boat tour of the lake. While walking on the pier, you can feel the waves and enjoy the nice view of the lake. 水社 Visitor Center is behind 水社 Pier. It offers all kinds of tourist information. Around 水社 Visitor Center is the popular Specialties Street. You can find many hotels, restaurants, and shops here. Tourists can buy unique local specialties for their family and friends, such as postcards and millet wine. Visitors can also take a walk along 水社 Lakeside Trail. The entire trail is a gentle slope. The trail passes 草悟 Pier, one of the 4 major piers of Sun Moon Lake, and the famous site of 九龙口. It's a great choice for people who want to take their time. Next time you're visiting Sun Moon Lake, make sure to visit the 水社 Pier. With so many things to keep you entertained, it's a perfect option to spend a relaxing day with your loved ones.